Good morning, OxFit Nation. I am swagging out this morning as well in my new starter gear. Got to match Aunt Savannah's vibes, and I know Caitlin will be bringing the heat as well in the starter jacket on Friday. So, yeah, we're swagging this morning. We're feeling good. How are you guys? Everyone doing good? I'm just getting set up here. Got my coffee, getting this adjusted for you. All right. We're looking good. We're looking good. All right, man. Whew, today is one of those mornings. If you're also listening to this while trying to sip your coffee before it gets cold for the third time, then welcome. You're in the right place. Because that's kind of been my morning so far. So today I thought I'd start a little bit with morning routines, or maybe the idea of a morning routine. The one that looks great on paper, that you really have all planned out. You wake up early, move your body, maybe set some intentions for the day, maybe even enjoy a quiet moment to yourself. And then sometimes that happens. Sometimes that actually happens. And when it does, you feel amazing, right? You feel grounded, prepared, like you might actually be steering the day instead of chasing it. And I've really been trying to focus this year on my mornings and getting up before the kids and following a routine and seeing how, that leads me throughout the day, energy wise, productivity wise. If you listened in on Ant's podcast yesterday, he talked a little bit as well about doing a similar thing with the book that he's reading. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank, Power of Habits. And how we're both kind of trying to tackle just having a better morning. It typically just sets me off on the right step, right, for the day. But then there are other mornings. And if you're a parent, you might kind of guess where I'm going with this, right? The ones where you have a plan and then like a tiny little human decides to wake up at 5 in the morning. Or, someone needs a snack right away first thing when they get up because they didn't eat their dinner. Or, everything just kind of like moves a little bit faster than you had wanted to and anticipated in the morning. And suddenly that routine that you mapped out goes right out the window. So that was kind of me this morning. I've, been waking up consistently around 5 a.m. so that I can have at least, an hour and a half before my kids wake up. Now I do have early risers. So, they are up between 6 and 7 usually. But I've been doing this lately, waking up at 5 before them on a good morning and just feeling better. Having a little bit of peace to myself, before the kind of rat race starts. But this morning, Leo woke up at shortly after 5, coughing, and woke his sister up, which was lovely. Got them back to bed, just for a little bit though. And then they woke up again after that. And then it was just like, I gave up kind of, I was like, all right, we're up. And in my head, I had kind of these grand plans for, following my normal routine, getting ready for this podcast, and just some other things that I wanted to do. And, I had to be flexible. It really tested me out. Like I didn't get to maybe prep for this as much as I wanted to. I didn't get to kind of have everything laid out, breakfast ready, coffee made. And instead it really tested me. I had to be patient, not take it out on them. Leo's not feeling well as well. So, needs a little bit of extra mommy love. So yeah, all of that to say, what ended up happening this morning was very different from what I had planned. And I had to stay calm and just kind of roll with the punches. So cheers to all the parents out there this morning doing the same thing. I'm there with you. And I talk a lot about having a plan with my coaching clients. Especially, my moms, and the key to a successful week being, taking that time over the weekend or the Friday before the weekend to really think through your plan for the next week. When are you going to shop? When are you going to meal prep? When are you going to make your lunches if you're making them yourselves? But man, parenthood tests you in so many ways because not only do you need the plan, but you also have to have a plan for the plan if the plan doesn't work, right? So you just have to stay flexible in this season of life, especially when you have young toddlers. So yeah, as helpful as structure is, I think the real magic, is in learning how to stay ready for whatever the morning throws at you and how to not let kind of chaos totally derail your goals, right? And your whole day. So this is kind of a good segue into what I want to talk about today. I'm going to take a brief moment and see if anyone's on the chat because I have kind of figured out how to use this now. I see Beefy on there. Good morning. Hi. Can I show this? Yes. Thank you. Hair looking good. Woo. At least I've got that going on. Hair looking good. Starter jacket on. All right. It's going to be a great day. So yeah. So what I really want to talk to you guys today is about a conversation that I'm having right now with a lot of my coaching clients around week 3 of our, 2026 nutrition journey. And this is me included. I'm on this same journey with my clients, doing it with them. And so are a lot of my mom coaches too. So 3 weeks ago, we made a decision to change, not just what's, on our plates and like go on a type of diet per se, but really like how we show up for ourselves as moms. Because in this specific group I'm working with, we're all moms. And that entails a lot. So let's dive in. Many of us, week 3 are already feeling some good results. Like our clothes are fitting maybe a little bit better, a little differently. We have less bloat, clearer energy, fewer cravings. Maybe the scale has even moved a little bit. Or maybe it hasn't, and that's okay, but your body is starting to respond. And today we're going to talk about why those early results happen, what usually comes next, and then how you can unlock the next level of results by staying focused, consistent, and coachable. It's really important to understand this process so you don't self-sabotage right when things are about to start working or already are, but maybe you just can't see it yet. So what I want to acknowledge is something really important. Where we are right now, week 3 of January, is called kind of the messy middle of the process, right? The excitement of week 1 has worn off. Maybe some of those quick initial results I just mentioned have sort of started to plateau. And the finish line of our first 30-day reset phase still kind of seems far away. But here's what I need you to know. So moms, if you're working with me and you're listening, or if you're doing this on your own and you're listening, you are actually exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And what happens in these next 10 days will determine everything that comes after. So let me paint a quick picture of what's ahead first. You've got about a week and a half left of this phase. This paleo reset is how we're doing it. And then we're going to transition into something even more powerful. And that's going to be your personalized plan. This is where we take everything that your body has learned during this reset and dial it in with precision. We'll be looking at meal timing that works with your specific schedule, fueling strategies around your workouts, and personalized macronutrient tracking that's built for your body, not just some generic formula. But none of that matters if we don't finish strong right now. This reset is laying the foundation, and foundations need to be rock solid. So let's talk about why you saw those quick results in the first 2 weeks and why things might feel different now. So when you started this paleo reset, you eliminated processed foods, added sugars, grains, dairy, legumes. Your body responded immediately. You likely dropped some water weight and some inflammation. Your blood sugar levels stabilized, your energy improved, and maybe you felt less bloated. I know I do. And this just isn't in your head. This wasn't just in your head. It actually is real physiological change happening in your body. And here's the science behind it. So when you remove inflammatory foods and stabilize your blood sugar levels by eating whole foods, protein, healthy fats, and veggies. Your body starts using fat for fuel more efficiently. Your insulin levels normalize, which means your body can actually burn away stored fat instead of constantly being in storage mode or starvation mode. Your gut begins to heal, which improves nutrient absorption, reduces that puffy feeling in your belly. And all of this happens relatively quickly, which is why week 1 and week 2 felt so good. And that's why I was getting a lot of responses from my mom clients on, wow, this is working, and a lot of positivity early on. And now what I see happening is a little bit of frustration around the scale stayed the same this week, or it hasn't moved at all, or I would have expected more to come. But your body now has to adapt to this new baseline. The dramatic shifts that you made, right, from eating like total garbage over the holidays to now giving your body good food, that's done. Great job. You did it. But now you're in the phase of deeper cellular level changes in your body. And to take it a layer deeper, most of us are women in our 30s and 40s. Yay, which unfortunately adds an extra layer of complexity, right, to this next phase. We have female bodies that are literally getting ready for perimenopause and menopause. You know, we had the ability to make babies, which was incredible, right? But it comes with the downside now later in life. And we have to, 1, educate ourselves on what that is. And then 2, realize that we don't have to just be victims to it. We can make changes and still see progress. Okay. So you may have heard the name Dr. Stacy Sims before, especially if you listen to any podcasts like I do, any women fitness or nutrition podcasts. She is one of the leading researchers in female athletic performance and nutrition. And now she tells us that our hormones, especially as we enter our late 30s and early 40s, create an entirely different metabolic environment in our bodies. And this is so important to understand. So if you're in perimenopause or menopause, your estrogen and progesterone levels are fluctuating or already declining, and this fundamentally changes how your body processes food and builds muscle. According to Dr. Sims, as estrogen decreases, we become more insulin resistant, we don't recover from exercise as quickly, and our bodies actually hold on to stubborn fat. Sucks, right? Especially around the midsection, which is where we've already struggled having babies. So just like layer more complexities on top of it. We are killing it if you're in your 30s or 40s. But we don't have to use it as an excuse, okay? There are ways, and that's what I'm here for. So here's the good news. What you're doing right now is going to help combat these symptoms, okay? Working with me or another coach at OxFit, you're already on the right path. Just keep doing what you're doing. This paleo reset specifically works with our female physiology, not against it, by prioritizing high protein and aiming for about the 25 to 30 grams we talk about per meal. You're supporting muscle protein synthesis, which becomes more difficult as estrogen drops. And this is exactly why we focus a lot on splitting up your meals in a way that allows you to successfully hit your protein targets and get enough protein throughout the day. Now, if any of the moms are listening that I'm working with, a lot of you looked at your tracking sheets I gave you and freaked out. You were like, how am I going to eat 4 to 5 meals a day? Okay, well, if you don't, then you're not going to be able to support the muscle protein synthesis you need to combat and reverse the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. So don't listen to me then, okay? And just keep struggling. Or try your best, take the feedback, right? Try to hit 25 to 30 grams per meal and try to get the 4 to 5 meals in per day. Also, by eating anti-inflammatory whole foods, fruits, veggies, think lean meats, and healthy fats like nuts, seeds, avocados, you're supporting your hormone production and reducing the cortisol spikes that make us store belly fat. And then lastly, by eliminating those processed carbs like pastas, breads, fried foods, and stabilizing blood sugar, you're addressing that increased insulin resistance head on. So the 30-day reset works. Your hormones are right now starting to recalibrate. Your metabolism is resetting. Your gut microbiome is literally changing its composition. And this work is slower, quieter, less visible on the scale. It's the most important stage. Right now, week 3, when you think the scale hasn't changed and you're not getting results, it is the key to unlocking the next layer of results. It's more important than the first 2 weeks. This is where real transformation happens. And this is exactly when most people give up. I'm so fired up about this right now because I've done this hundreds of times with women. And I've done it so many times with myself. And if you let off the gas right now, you are totally just one step away from missing out on that next level of results. So the difference between women who transform their bodies and their relationship with food and those who don't isn't talent or genetics. It's literally this moment right now. And that's why I just had to talk about this today. It's what you do when the results start to slow down that really gets you to that next level. All right. So let me be really clear about something if I haven't already. You told me you wanted this. You didn't just want another quick fix or another 2-week experiment. You said you wanted to finally feel at home in your body. You said you were tired of starting over every Monday. You said you wanted sustainable change, not just a number on the scale. You said you wanted to feel strong, energized, and confident, that you wanted to do this the right way, that you didn't want to take the shortcuts. You said you wanted to stop letting hormones and perimenopause be the reason you don't feel good about yourself. So this is not the time to slow down or go back to old habits because the scale hasn't moved in 4 days. 4 days. You have to keep going. This is not the time to convince yourself that good enough is actually good enough, when you know deep down you haven't even scratched the surface of what you're capable of. Your body just needs some time to believe in you after you fed it garbage all Christmas break. And let's be honest, we all did. I did too, right? So your body just doesn't trust you right now. It doesn't trust that you're going to stick with this and that it can release its fat storage and start burning fat for fuel again. It's holding on to it going, is she serious, or is she just going to mess around again and start feeding me garbage because the scale hasn't changed in 4 days? You need to restore the trust your body has in you. So the women who quit right now, they quit because they're looking for that same dopamine hit they got in week 1. And when it doesn't come, they assume the program stopped working. But the women who push through, who are resilient, who show up on day 22, even when they don't feel like it, who prep their meals, who trust the process, keep going even when they're tired, and stay the course when the scale is being stubborn, those are the women who completely transform. And you are just steps away from that right now. Not just their bodies, not just transforming their bodies, but also just their entire relationship with food, their confidence, their energy, their future. So you've invested 3 weeks. You've already done the hard work of breaking the sugar addiction. You've already figured out your meal prepping. You've said no to so many foods that don't serve you. You've already proven that you can do hard things. Why would you stop now, right before the breakthrough? That would be like climbing 80% of the mountain and turning around because you can't see the summit yet. The summit is there. Keep climbing. And what I know about you is that you're stronger than you think you are. You've survived hard seasons. I know this. You know this. We've done it together. We've had kids. We can do anything. You've juggled impossible schedules. You've shown up for everyone else for years. And now you're showing up for yourself. And that makes some people uncomfortable, including the voice in your head that wants you to stay small and safe and comfortable. Don't listen to that voice. Listen to the voice that signed you up for this program, that was riding off all that New Year motivation, because she knew she deserved better. And for women in our age group, understanding the science of what's happening inside our bodies makes pushing through this phase even more critical, because Dr. Sims talks about something called anabolic resistance, another great thing that we struggle with in our late 30s and 40s. But essentially, as we age and our hormones shift, our bodies become less responsive to muscle building signals from protein and exercise. So it just gets harder from here. This is why you can't eat the way you did in your 20s and 30s and early 30s, right? And get the same results. Your body literally needs even more protein, even more food, more strength training, less running, more walking, less hustle, more calm, and more attention to nutrient timing to really get the same outcome. And this isn't fair, I'm getting worked up about it right here. But what I don't like is using it as an excuse and being a victim to it. And I refuse to do that. And I know all of you listening and all of my mom clients, the reason why you signed up is because you refuse to listen to it too. It's fixable, okay? We can do this together. And that's exactly why this reset is just phase one. And once we finish these 30 days, we're going to personalize your nutrition timing around your workouts, because that matters even more. It matters just as much as what you eat is like when you're eating it, especially for women over 40. So eating protein within 30 minutes after a workout, for example, can dramatically improve muscle recovery and combat that anabolic resistance. But first, we need to establish this strong foundation of clean eating and blood sugar stability. So off my soapbox for a minute here, but I want to give you guys some tips for how to stay focused and how to unlock that next round of results, because they're coming, trust me. So first, remember that your body is not a math equation. It doesn't release fat on like some predictable linear schedule. Be great if it did, right? We have hormones throughout the month that fluctuate, that also, result in us not having the same steady linear path of body composition changes. That might mean that we retain water during certain parts of the month, feel hungrier certain parts of the month, see the scale jump up even at certain times. And this is unfortunately just a normal part of the female physiology. But trust the process even when you can't see the process, because I promise there's a lot of things happening underneath, inside, that's setting you up for success to unlock that next level of results. And you're just steps away from it. So don't give up. Secondly, focus on, during this time when maybe you're not seeing the scale change, the non-scale victories, right? How's your energy? How's your sleep? How's your mood? Are you able to get through the day without having an extra coffee at 3 p.m. because your energy levels have stabilized? How are your cravings? Like, I haven't had a bar of chocolate in 3 weeks. That's amazing, right? My blood sugar levels are stabilizing. My cravings are going away. I'm stacking good days on top of each other. I don't want to ruin that. How are your workouts feeling? Do you feel stronger? Do you feel more energized? These are actually better indicators of metabolic health than the number on the scale anyways. When you're 3 weeks in and your energy is stable all day long without needing that sugar, or that extra caffeine drink, that's your metabolism working properly. When you're sleeping better, getting into that nice deep sleep, feeling less groggy and tired in the morning, that's your cortisol levels normalizing. And when your joint pain is decreasing, that's inflammation coming down. I'm experiencing that with my knee, slowly starting to feel better. Inflammation's coming out. The joint pain is starting to subside. My hormones are stabilizing. My cycle becoming normal. That's all success. Those are all wins, right? Other than the scale. And thirdly, remember that consistency beats perfection every time. You don't need a perfect week. You just need a consistent one. 3 solid days doesn't unlock results, but 3 solid weeks does. Your body needs to see this, that this is your new normal. It needs to trust you again, right? Not just believe that it's like, oh, this is some temporary experiment she's trying. I've seen her do this before. She's done 3 great weeks and then fallen off again. So I'm just going to hold on to that fat. I'm not going to let her burn it yet. I don't believe in her. Show your body, right? That it can trust you, that you're going to keep going, and then it will thank you and it will reward you. And for our hormone profiles, right, consistency is especially critical because our bodies are already dealing with chaos. Just being a female, our bodies are dealing with hormonal chaos. And then being a female in our late 30s and 40s, just layer on some extra chaos. So we need to give our systems as much predictability as possible. So you're 3 weeks in, you've already done the hardest part, which was starting and getting there. Getting through those first few uncomfortable days, unlocking the first set of progress. Now you're in the growth zone, and growth is uncomfortable by definition. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing tons of uncomfortable shit all the time. But it is where the growth comes, and you have to trust the process a little bit. So in about 10 days, you're going to complete this reset. And then we're going to build something incredible on top of this foundation. And it's going to be a personalized plan that works specifically for you and your goals and your female physiology based on your hormone profile, your life, your routine, your body, your performance goals. Okay, so let's get there together. Okay, one step at a time though. So we're going to dial in this next step. The protein that you eat around your workouts, we'll look at, how meal timing throughout your day affects your energy and recovery. We'll personalize your macros based on your activity level and your body's individual needs. But that all only works if you finish what you started and you built that solid foundation. Don't get too excited. I hear it all the time. The scale hasn't changed in 4 days. I need that next level. I need that next phase. I need that next thing to come. Just trust this process, okay? Patience, be patient, right? And then that next level will come when you're ready. We need that solid foundation, all right? Okay, I have been on a soapbox here, friends. I hope you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm super passionate about helping all of you that I'm working with. And if I'm not already working with you, I would love to help you. I'm going to take a second here and yes, look at these comments. Okay. So got some listeners today. Thank you guys. I think Whitney's chiming in here a little bit on, yes, Dr. Stacey Sims's books are clutch. Love them. Love her. Every podcast she's ever featured on. Let's see. Beefy. I know she's going to have something to say here. As women, our bodies are constantly in a cycle. Yeah. Give yourself some grace. That's exactly right. Whitney, our bodies deserve the same level of care and attention. We give to everyone and everything else in our lives. We got this. Yes. So true. Thank you for chiming in, Whit. And Whit's in our moms group, and I love having her support in there. Beefy, thank you, girl. Proud of you, Lauren. 3 weeks. I know, amazing. Yeah, we've done 3 weeks. Yeah, you're looking amazing. We got a badass group. I love the support that we have on our team. Oh, Cash, love this. This is the only women's fitness and nutrition podcast I listen to. Thanks for tuning in, Cash. Yes, amazing. Okay. Oh, y'all, we're throwing some comments down. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate the love. We have the best coaching team, the best OxFit moms community there is. If you're not a part of it already, come see what it's like. If you've been watching our Instagram this week, I've been doing a little takeover to give you a little insight into, what the community is like, what our workouts are like, what some of the results are like that some of the moms I've already worked with have gotten. And today we've got some more good clips dropping. You saw some transformation stories I posted yesterday. some really incredible results when these moms put their minds to it and don't give up. They're unstoppable. There's nothing that can't stop them from getting the results that they want. And that can be you. If you're listening and you haven't worked with us or another OxFit coach or myself yet, then please don't hesitate to reach out. Email Lauren at ox.fit. I'm pretty full. I've got an amazing group of moms that I'm already working with, but when I have a spot open up, I'd love for it to be you. So, all right, y'all, have a great week. Go like, subscribe, share a comment if you enjoyed listening to my rant here, and let's go. Keep that foot down on the gas, ladies. If you're in my group, I cannot wait to see the incredible results y'all are going to get. All right.